guess I got nothing else to say besides, by the title, this is the explanation video. I'm going to be doing a series of these videos in between my otaku... Let's say it with me now. My Otaku Nation Radio News Network. The ONRNN. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast. Okay, well. Basically, what this video, I've been getting a lot of, questions, especially from a guy, his name is Charles Battersby, from Shoddycast. And I thought, you know what, I haven't gotten his email yet, you know what, might as well go ahead and make an explanation video, because, technically speaking, Shoddycast, primarily Charles Battersby and Frank Horrigan, Austin Horrigan, were the actual inspirations to, ONRNN, and, to be fair, might as well go ahead and, do this now. So, where to begin? Okay, so I've already established the premise of what's going on. Basically, the Otaku Nation, Otaku Army, the religious states, Jesus freaks, and then the Console Coalition with their many, many branches of military, much like the video game industry, is basically a nerddom. Yeah, nerdtopia, nerdvana. Whatever you want to call it. In a basic sense, the best way I can describe it, and I've done this on Facebook, I'll link my Facebook in the description below, but, basically, here's the gist of it. This is an alternate reality, this is an alternate world. Y2K happened. So basically, during the 90s, and basically from the 80s to the 90s, anime and video games exploded, okay? Causing the nerddoms to be this big thing where everyone was where a lot of people were gamers, a lot of people were otakus, all this stuff. And then when Y2K happened, the gamers and the otaku, knew what to do. They basically took what they learned from video games and anime and, in a sense, rebuilt the nation and rebuilt the world. However, with the religious states, okay, basically the best way I can say this is, in America, and in the world, mind you, the religious states is a bit different. The Vatican City and the Vatican State, that's the religious state. That's the capital. That's basically that. As for the actual stateside religious states, let me go ahead and say this now, because I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people, so I might as well go ahead and say it. The religious states is basically Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama. So, to go ahead and to picture you guys a map. Just, I want you to get out a map on Google Maps, or print out a map, or what have you. Basically, find the United States. Then take 2 markers. One for green, for the for the Console Coalition. Blue for the Otaku. Now, find the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. The north side of the bridge, that's Console Coalition. The south side of the bridge, well, basically the other side of the bridge, that's Otaku Nation. Then draw a line, 2 lines. Green, north, blue, south. Draw a line straight through there until you reach the religious states, and then draw around them, and then rejoin on the other side, and then keep going. There's the United States, basically. My version of the United States. Now, what's different is the fact of, oh my goodness, this is going to be even harder. It's not hard to explain, it's just really hard to try and remember what you wrote down. Basically, the otaku capital is Texas. right where Funimation's HQ is. As for the Console Coalition's capital, it's Bethesda. Legitimately, it's Bethesda. And Todd Howard is the president of the coalition. You know, they elect a president. And as for the Otaku Nation and the Otaku Army, the Otaku Nation and the Otaku Army are kept strictly separate, and they're led by a council. Now, who leads the political side is, not gonna lie, the head counselor in my perfect utopia is Hiro Miyazaki. Mr. Miyazaki is the head counselor for the political side, along with the other guys who did Cowboy Bebop and many other great philosophical animes, Big O being one of them. As for the military side, the leader for that is Shiro Masamune. And basically Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, any action-packed anime or a war-themed anime, go ahead and take the guy who created that, and that's basically the council right there. Black Lagoon being another one. Okay. Now, as for what's going on. Okay, so basically before the war between the otakus and the Jesus freaks, here's what's going on. The Console Coalition fought a war with the PC Purist. That's a bad name. I'm going to say that now. I did not come up with the name. It was another guy who came up with the name. Basically, it was the PC P. Oh, dear God, that just made it worse. And they believed that the PC would be supreme, would rule supreme, would be all-round good. And to be fair, I personally play PC, and I personally play console as well, but to be fair, that's kind of messed up. Don't know where my mind was when I dreamed this world up. And yes, I dreamed this world up, so go ahead and insert a Martin Luther King, I have a dream joke in here. But what was really interesting when I was writing this stuff down and all this other sort of stuff, it was a bit different when I started really thinking about when I started really thinking about what goes into it. So basically, the PC Purists were from Canada, and so the Console Coalition basically went to war with them, and the war lasted roughly 5-7 years, I think it was. It was a pretty bad war, and basically they annexed Canada, and now Todd Howard has Canada in his Console Coalition. Aha. But yeah, basically that's how it is. And as for a United Nations type thing, it's Japan. Okay? It's friggin' Japan! I'm talking the otakus and the Console Coalitions, heads of states and all that good stuff, the ambassadors, what have you. They meet in Japan. Get off my back. But, back down to seriousness, though. Well, not really seriousness, though. Back to the story, basically. After that war was over, the religious states are a poor nation. I might as well go ahead and get more heat on me. They're poor. But then they find this mineral, this metal, that can basically be used for anything. Now, let me go ahead and give you a insight as to what's going on with the mindset of everyone. To the religious states, they see the Console Coalition as a bunch of warmongering, gung-ho, kill everything, shoot first, ask questions second, capitalistic pigs and heathens, while they also view the Otaku Nation as and I'm not even lying here, guys, they view the Otaku Nation as an imperialistic, land-grabbing, greedy, money-loving society that is unholy because of their many beliefs and all this good stuff and blah blah blah. Now to the otakus, uh, we've watched enough anime to know that it's smart to observe people and learn from them. That's basically how the otakus are. They learn and they watch. Now, to the otakus, they see the religious states as narrow-minded, simple-minded people who definitely need help into the future. Now, to the console coalition, they try to make peace with the religious states, but that's not going anywhere. That's not getting anything. And it isn't until the discovery of this metal that it can be used to bring. It can be used to the religious states. It sees them getting great independence, but they don't have the technology to do it, so they try to do it with what they have, which is primitive tech. Picture 20s, 30s, 40ish style technology. Picture that. And with the console coalition, they see this metal as well, and they're thinking, hey, this can be used for war and make our military stronger. As for the otakus, they see this metal and they're thinking it can be used to make better materials for cars, ships, planes, for the economy. And basically, you can probably guess what's going on. Now, the otakus basically try to make political advances towards the religious states, try to offer them help, technology, things like that, but that's not going anywhere. And the religious states are a bunch of bullheaded people, and they're not wanting to accept help or a giving hand, so they just basically say, fuck you, we're gonna do what we got. And, well, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Well, not really interesting, it's where it gets a little bit deep. A couple months pass, and then the otaku's political council building gets bombed. Which, don't worry, for any of you who thinks Miyazaki got killed, no, Miyazaki didn't get killed, thankfully enough. Miyazaki is not dead. But to the military, which I might as well go ahead and get into the military because I said a little bit about them. Okay, with the military, it's anime-based. The Marines, the first ones that get sent in, that's the Scout Regiment. I'm talking the Scout Regiment are the cavalry scouts, snipers, all that good stuff. That's them. That is the Marines. That is the backbone of the Otaku Army. As for the engineers, that's the Rose Regiment. Again, Attack on Titan. They're also artillery and all that good stuff. For military police and National Guard, that's, again, Attack on Titan. It's the Pegasus Regiment, I think that's the name of it. I'm not really sure. I know it's Pegasus, but at the same time it's a unicorn. Kind of weird. As for the Special Forces, it's the Shinobi from Naruto. And then, of course, each one's different in what they do, so you could probably... I'll let you guys guess at what each Hidden Leaf Village ninja does. I'll let you guys do that. And, of course, the Anbu Black Ops, you're thinking that's, the off-the-books forces. That's just one of many. As for the Navy, that is... I'm going to let you guys guess, and I'm going to pick whichever anime you think is actually the Navy. And then, of course, the Air Force. I'm going to go ahead and say the Air Force is... the Air Force is again, I'm going to let you guys do that, because it's a lot more fun to see if you guys can guess what I'm thinking, who the Air Force is, anime-wise. So, going a little bit more further, let me just go ahead and say this now. As for the console coalition, oh my god. Okay, let's just go ahead. Okay, the console coalition, their military is Call of Duty, Battlefield, Titanfall, oh my goodness, so many other war games. Bulletstorm, Quake. I mean, just take all these great shooters and put them in there. Even Half-Life is in there. I mean, they actually do have a Black Mesa. Brotherhood of Steel is the BOS battalion, that's the heavy armored units. So many other things from Fallout, Skyrim, all this other stuff. Just let your imaginations go wild with it. Another one. Okay, so as for the religious state, basically when the bombing happened, the Otaku army basically leapt into action and sent in the scout regiment. Just all the scout, not all the scout regiment, but just the initial attack force, and it was targeted at Tennessee. Well, basically the edge of Tennessee, right above Kentucky. Another part at Fort Knox. Let me think here. Another attack at southern Mississippi, like the very tip of it, near Florida. And then finally, another attack on the eastern flank of Alabama. And this war basically is initiated, it's going on, it's happening, and basically, in a nutshell sense, a bombing happened and nobody knows who did it for real. But they know the religious states basically stated that if the Otaku Nation does not back off, then they will take action to defend their beliefs or, whatever. And when this happens, the Console Coalition basically steps up and says, hey, we're not going to get involved in your war, we're going to stay neutral. And that's kind of how it is for a good while until basically recently in a broadcast you may have heard, it wasn't until an attack happened on the border of northern Tennessee, basically like the very northern tip of the border happened, and an attack happened on the Console Coalition, basically killing a lot of civilians and some military personnel and what have you. And that's where it basically happened. This is where our story is. Basically, I'm wanting Shoddycast to do the announcement to see if Todd Howard will finally initiate the war, to have the Console Coalition come in finally and go to war with the Jesus Freaks, and do this whole speech and what have you, which is kind of hilarious. But aside from that, though, yeah, I mean, I won't make the announcement. I'm going to let Shoddycast do it, and I'm really hoping to do a co-production work with Shoddycast to help me expand the lore of my Airsoft storyline, basically, of this great nerd world where where otakus and gamers and all that good stuff exist as a actual independent nation. And yeah, that's going to be fun. So, yeah, this was my first explanation video. And if you guys want to hear more about what's going on, I will gladly do so. Hopefully enough Shoddycast, if you're hearing this. There's your explanation, Mr. Charles. Or Mr. Battersby, however you want to go by. And I hope to hear from you guys on my Twitter and Facebook. Have a nice day.